next morning, targeting undocumented colonizers. Several fled, abandoning their organic almond milk.
Ma'am, how do you feel about being deported?
They want me to go back. Back where? I've never even been to Finland.
That pilgrim visa expired a couple centuries ago, gang. Back across the pond you go, chap. Cheerio, motherfucker. DICE agents swarmed today's NASCAR event, targeting legacy squatters. Parking lot is still filled with abandoned pickup trucks, beer cans, and red caps. Since the DICE raids, the states of Maine and Nebraska now have a population of 0. Yes, folks, 0. Overnight, the majority of Congress became fugitives. A record 428 seats now sit empty. That's right, 428 out of 535 votes. Target has officially been declared a sanctuary establishment, with the melanin deficient and the culturally displaced refusing to evacuate. This just in.
I'm 2% Cherokee on my mom's side.
That ain't enough to stay, Chief. Pack them up. Since the DIC raids, insider trading dropped 87%. HOA disputes vanished overnight. Karen calls to 911 hit record low.
I handled mergers, not massacres. This can't be how it ends.
It's about to go down. Michael Sean and the Takeover Legend Morning Show is back Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Michael Sean, that's me. Jay Black, Sexy Mo, C Chung, and celebrity guests that you get nowhere else. That's right, but here on Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends. Go to our YouTube page, Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends, and check the exclusive situation all the way out, or catch it live. Get your comments on Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends are back.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends, where the truth hurts, but also makes you laugh.
Baby, tap in.
We the worst records, baby. We about to create a perfectly horrible song. Y'all know I've been in the gym, and now all I wear is tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts. Yes, I do. Michael Sean wears tight shirts every day. I wear tight shirts because I'm working out some. And if I wear the right size, you won't see none of my little cuts in my arms or whatever. Short sleeve tight shirts in any type of weather. People talking trans when they see me in the street.
Your shirt's so tight, we can see your heartbeat.
Man, clown me if you want, I'm sticking to my guns. And when December comes, it's gonna be fun. You can crack jokes and treat me like a jerk, but one day you'll see my six-pack right through my shirt. And even if I wanted to, I just can't stop. I just might rock an Ezekiel crop top.
Whoa.
Did I take it too far? Wait.
Yes.
Whatever. Tight shirts in the morning at work and when I grieve. I even wear tight pajama tops when I sleep. Tight shirts. Tight shirts. Tight shirts. I'm back. Tight shirts. Yes, I'm back. Good morning, people. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. We got the whole crew here. Damn near started on time. Congrats to us. Jay Black, Dr. Aaron Smith, a.k.a. Fearless. The title is, can a healed man go back to the same woman? Can a healed man go back to the same woman, I should say. Dr. Aaron Smith, how was your night last night? Anything new? Anything good? What was it popping?
Oh, I thought you was about to make an announcement or something. I was like, where'd that title come from? You got me. My eyes was like, oh, wait. I said, I was like, what's about to happen on the show? What y'all about to do today?
I'm single.
He's thinking a healed man go back to the same woman. I said, that's a specific topic. Okay, just in general.
It's for the people.
Okay.
People.
I knew you was loading up this show because I was late getting this clip, but I saw arguably one of the most intellectually disturbing clips of my life. And I shared it with Jay. I told him where to cue it up, so later we can talk about it whenever we get a chance. But Nick Fuentes was talking to Candace Owens, and when
you talked about this yesterday, remember you had made a reference to it.
Okay, yeah. So I sent the clip this time. You know, I was late.
Good.
And I'm gonna tell you why I couldn't send you the clip before, Mike. I kept finding reaction videos to the clip.
Yes.
The reactions don't match the clip. Yeah, I'm waiting for people to get mad, and they're like this. Yeah, I said, I can't use that.
Right.
Then there's Republicans like the black dudes. Those I don't know if you know about the Hodges twins. Those two black light-skinned dudes, a little muscular.
Yes.
They were up there talking about some. If black people didn't have fire, all you could see is their eyeballs and teeth. And I'm looking like, yo, y'all black. If they didn't have language, they was grunting like this in their video. So I'm like, can't use that. This young black guy saying, yeah, Egyptians were Arabs. And I just wrote a note on one of the pages saying that's like saying that Americans were originally Europeans because of what you see today. Just because you walk around today and see something don't mean that's the way it was back then. But the level of like, dag, bro, I didn't know I had to break that down. I thought we knew Americans used to be brown and there's a possibility that it could happen in other places. Like, but it was I mean, to have worked in this field for this long and to watch how far we've gone back from even as popular as You Must Learn.
Yes.
The things you would know just listening to It's Not Natural, You Must Learn, the black man's in effect, right? He's the Greek philosophy. Just 3 songs from KRS-One would have you light years beyond what the average 20, 30, and 40-year-old is saying today who didn't grow up on hip-hop.
Well, you know, Doc, what everybody is always, not everybody, what people have said is stupidity can spread, ignorance and stupidity can spread faster than intelligence.
Present.
It's easily promoted, it's easily spread, and there's no research needed. There's no research needed. You made a reference to KRS-One, We Must Learn. It was the first time I ever You Must Learn, and the first song Why Is That was the first first time I ever opened, and God, I'm not saying this in a proud way, first time I ever opened the Bible.
Hip hop, wow.
Was because of that song.
Hip-hop,
and I was lost because I went to a Catholic school. I'm still sort of lost when I'm trying to find things in the Bible. But that was the first time. But it's easy for me to spread stupidity and ignorance because I can tell you the 10 crack commandments after the first
10 crack commandments. Whoa.
You know that's simple to be able to spread. So I'm glad you.
I don't even mind the missing. I don't mind the other information because there's a lot of people who could say I know about reality TV. Like you said, I don't know about history or the Bible. That's one thing, and a lot of people are guilty of that. Even intellectuals are guilty of that, knowing more about pop culture. Sometimes in their own. That's a given, right? Yeah, I'm saying the misinformation. The misinformation, though. I'm saying, yo, you promoting the revisionist history? You promoting the lie? Like that, bro. You could just not know. You don't know. I don't know. Fine. I could tell you who scored in the 19th. Fine. I got that. People's stats on the court. I got that. I don't have beef with them. The beef comes in where it's like, yo, you saying what they saying? You saying black people didn't have writing? Yeah. Like.
So we're gonna get into that clip. Do you want to get into we'll get into the clip when are you gonna upgrade today?
No, because I'm taking my son somewhere, so I'll be here. So you can do a clip. You can do a clip.
Okay, all right. Jay Black, how was your night last night? How did everything go? Anything new? Any debates? Any reality shows?
Actually, we did get into a debate yesterday. We did, and I had to call.
With who?
Did y'all debate? Did a healed man go back to the same women? No, I'm playing.
Actually, it was on the same line. It's in the same ballpark. It was we debated about yesterday's little show. All right, so after the show, we had a conversation because K-Day came at the doc, and I felt I didn't feel away, but I felt a little like that's not how you do it. When you come at someone, you're not supposed to say, oh, because you're traumatized over your last relation. Like, you're not supposed to bring up certain things in the midst of a debate. I feel like that.
That's what we do every day on this show.
But that's not healthy. You're not.
But that's what we do.
You're not going to get the response that you're looking for in them to be open if you're bringing up, well, I'm not going to allow your trauma to affect me. Like, what do you mean I'm not going to allow your trauma? Like, so Lady Q said that. And so we got into a heavy debate. And I say, no, a therapist will tell you if you want to get someone to open up, you can't come at their neck. She's talking about, no, accountability is rough when the mirror is facing you. You can't, like, so we was a lot of back and forth. So I called the therapist, a friend to the room, a member of the show, Sexy Mo. I got Sexy Mo on the phone.
Y'all doing too much. I'm just gonna let y'all know before you go on with this story.
Shout out Sexy Moto.
Y'all doing way too much. But go ahead.
No, I needed her to hear from a therapist because Mo, that's her thing. Mo got her degree. Like Doc got his degrees, he can educate. Mo got her therapy degree, so she know how to break the relationships down.
That is the most biased therapist you can ever get. And even her trying to attempt not to be biased, she is incapable of not being biased when giving you this advice because she knows. Let me finish. She knows you're not her patient. Neither one of you are her patients, and she knows what she said is gonna linger after she gets off the phone. She's smart enough to know I have to play this. This is not a patient. So go ahead, continue. My bad.
I got Sexy Mo on the speakerphone. It was me and Lady Q. I said, Lady said Sexy Mo. Earlier, it was a viewer and a supporter named K-Day. She was coming at the doc. She ain't like we said about women. And then she gonna say, I'm not gonna let your past relationships that you traumatized by affect me. I said, now you shouldn't say that in an argument, right, Mo? Like you should be able to open someone up and speak softer to get them to respond. And you know what Mo said?
What?
Mo said no. She said, I think what she said was correct. You have to be able to put the mirror in front of someone and be direct. Like Mo said everything Lady Q said, and I felt like an idiot because I called Mo to be on my side. But as a therapist, they saying you can say it like that. You can speak that way. Accountability does feel like an attack at times, but I just feel like you're not going to get me to open up if you coming at my neck telling me about my past trauma.
But I think you missed the whole point that she took everything wrong that he was saying.
No, like it wasn't. It would move past that. But I didn't like the fact that she brought up his past relationship as part of her argument.
Yeah,
but don't bring up that.
We bring up the past all the time. That's what we do, and we give. Then Dr. Aaron Smith has the right to then respond.
Don't say I'm traumatized by this past. Like, don't do that in a moment. Let's talk about the situation.
Okay, let me be your therapist for a second. You have a very bad habit of telling people what they should and should not do because it makes you uncomfortable. And that is a thing that you constantly do. You say you should not because it makes you feel some type of way. A person has the right to say what they believe, even if it makes you feel some type of way. That is like you can't.
Does it make sense? But I can't come at your neck in that way if I want you to open up and be receptive to the dialogue, right?
When did K-Day ever say in one of her comments she wanted Dr. Aaron Smith to open up?
She brought up his past trauma of his relationship.
But when did she say she wanted? But when did she say she wanted him to open up?
No, if she wanted him to be receptive to an open back and forth, you can't come at somebody and then expect them to have a rational dialogue. You just came in my neck. How do you want me to
wait? They're having a back and forth. So what you take is coming at your neck is her opinion. Like, why do you
my past trauma that I share with you that you wouldn't know nothing about if I didn't share it? You just threw something back in my face.
Yes, if I feel that your past, what you've gone through, is manipulating and dictating your opinion, she has the right to bring that up. And then he has the right to say, I don't agree. And that wasn't the statement that I was making. You can't make ground rules on open dialogue because you feel some type of way. And this Doc Doc felt some type of way and he should. Doc came back and said what he had to say. But I don't get what your beef is with K-Day.
Traumatized, and we live in trauma. D. Morris agree with me. What up, homie? D. Morris. LaShawn agree. I understand.
This is the problem. Every time we go into this, you look for people to agree with you
because it's other perspectives, and I don't like it when everyone try to make it seem like I'm the only one in the world that think like.
But that's exactly it.
That's not real.
Your perspective was her coming at his neck. The whole point of this.
Don't bring up my past trauma in the midst of you trying to prove your point.
Then don't talk to nobody in the world but yourself, because you want to make ground rules for people. You literally want to control how people decide to express their opinion.
I'm shut down. How is that productive?
Then shut down, Jay.
How is that productive?
Jay, then that is your inability to actually respond. That's your inability to not get sensitive records and shut down. That is your problem.
Don't use something I gave you against me. I'm like,
once
I
again,
didn't give you that ammo.
don't,
I shared this, and now you're using it as ammo to throw in my face.
It's not ammo. It's her opinion on her opinion.
Anyway, Sexy Mo, me and Lady Q got into this debate. We called Sexy Mo on the speakerphone. She said hi to everybody. She's trying to, make time. She just came back from DR, most state traveling. But yeah, she put on her therapy hat and she explained that Lady Q was correct and had all her valid points and that I could look at it from a different perspective. So that's what
as a general
point,
rule.
Doc, this is my last point, Doc. This is the problem with the sports analogy. Nobody won or lost. It's not a fucking who gets to 10 first. It's hearing other people's opinion and hearing their views, then embracing them and saying and figuring out for yourself, well, maybe I was wrong or maybe I was right. Or not, or maybe I can use this and be a little bit less sensitive and stop thinking that people are trying to come at my neck when they're just trying to give an opinion and they're just trying to show you maybe your past is dictating your opinions. That's it. It's not a win or lose.
You read LaShawn's. You got to read all the comments.
But see, because you still want this to be a contest.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna read, but dog, it's not an eagle game. It's about growth. It's not a football game. I understand, Jay Black. That's why people are not or do not be vulnerable. It's not a safe place. You can't throw things in a person's face. You won't open up to any. Then don't ever go to therapy, because what you're gonna do is when your therapist shows you after listening to you for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, when they show you what they've seen, if you take it as them throwing it in your face, you're lost. They're trying to reveal something that they see, and then they're giving it to you to go, what do you think? Like, y'all forever think somebody bringing something up and revealing something. That means if you hurt me in my past, if you hurt me severely in my past, and I say, I think it was because you went through that and somebody treated you like that. When you told me about this and that, I'm thinking that that's the reason why you treated me. If you're going to shut down, are you going to throw that in my face? We don't need to talk. Sorry, Doc, go ahead.
No. I mean, I think it's nuanced in that, of course, I'm thinking in terms of ideas. So I would never think somebody's coming at me. I thought that, my dear sister was coming at the statement I made, which is legitimate. I will say this, though. Typically in academia, and the rules of debate usually are that if anybody resorts to what is known as ad hominems or personal attacks, then they've lost the debate. I don't think this was that case. So I'm saying two separate things. I'm not saying that this was an incident of that. I'm saying that, not in Jay Black's defense, but in line with what Jay Black is saying, typically, if we're having a scholarly debate or even a factual debate about a topic, and you say, Mike's a jerk. Whoa, you lost. You went somewhere else. Mike made a clear point about politics and the economy, and you started attacking Mike. Flag on the play. Against the rules, ad hominem, personal attack, you lost. In this instance, however, I clearly saw that the connection to the personal experience was used as a point to critique the statement that was in question. So I saw it as a mirror, like Mike is saying, where it's like, I think this is why that was said. I have an issue with that statement. So I'm not trying to bring something in that doesn't belong. I'm using something that happened in the past to explain my critique. So normally, somebody says something about somebody personally, I would consider it ad hominem. In this case, I don't think it was a personal attack. I think it was a way to substantiate an argument, which is, I'm delineating between the two. Now, if somebody just says, shut your stupid ass up, Aaron, they're attacking me because they don't like what I said. So there is a difference. I think that she was totally on the other side, making a clear point and then trying to substantiate the point with where she felt as though the energy or the comment was coming from. So shouts out to you, Lady K, and shouts out to you, Sexy Mo. And that's my 2 cents.
You cannot throw people pass in the face and to win an argument. Accountability, then hold them accountable doesn't have to be. Yeah, it does have to be.
This is where y'all got to start dissecting what an argument and a dialogue about a subject. You got to understand we're not talking about the argument you're having with your boyfriend. We're talking about a dialogue. And let me tell you about the similarities between K-Day and Jay Black. I got on K-Day because K-Day saw something after that long statement, which I thought was positive. She saw something that triggered her. And what did Jay Black do? Jay Black didn't see her comment. He saw something that triggered him. You both did the same thing. Y'all watched the comment and y'all found something that triggered you and y'all went off on that instead of sticking to why the comment was being made and why we were discussing the comment. Y'all are very similar in what y'all just did in that situation.
And that was part of my issue yesterday too. That when I said you got people who do all these things, and I was laughing to myself because somebody needs to do a skit about Dr. King in 2025. Because when I look at the way they talk about Umar Johnson in this darn school, I'm like, well, if this is the criteria, then if this was the 1960s, all we would say is, but he has after parties. Heard he got a lot of hoes. Heard he's doing after parties. And they'd be like, yo, but he's trying to work on reparations in the Voting Rights Act. Why does he have after parties? Heard he's cheating on his wife. Because that's what they say to Dr. Umar. They're like, the school. This man has been talking about special education and the exploitation of children in the school system and all this stuff for like 15 to 20 something years. And all people care about, the school. And if it was Dr. King, all it would be was the after parties. If it was Frederick Douglass, he's half white and his white girlfriend living with the black wife. Like, if you could do that to anybody. Noah was a drunk. Or Moses was Noah was a drunk. Moses was a murderer. Like, we could do that with anybody and be like, your worst thing and never get over it. So I look at the way that people do that operations wacky doctor game, cherry picking the worst of a comment and of a person. And it is a dangerous way to engage reality because you're always going to find the negative and you're going to miss the larger message.
And that's what social media largely is about. LaShawn said therapy is totally different. They will not use your past or what you have told them maliciously or to hurt you or win a debate. No. It's how you take it, because I've got into arguments with my therapist. It's how you take it. You can take them bringing up something and say, and you can disagree with the fact that doesn't even correlate with what we're talking about.
D. Morris.
I've grown a lot. I denounce.
I'm just picking it up.
Oh, he's finally no longer a black Republican. Wait, remember he said give Trump time? Remember earlier?
Yeah, he gave him time. He gave him time. He trying to give us time. He trying to give us time in Alligator Alcatraz. That's what trying to give time. Trump trying to give us time.
3 months. What did D. Morris say? Give him time. I guess he's seen enough now.
It's been enough time. Time's up. Time's up. Their time's limited. Hard Rocks too.
Was it the Epstein's file? What did it for you, D. Morris? I'm curious. Was it the Epstein
He didn't release them files.
Where
them files at?
Was it the Central Park 5?
Like, oh, you go back. It wasn't back then. He needed that.
Was it Ronald Reagan? Was it what Ronald Reagan did to make sure that free college went by the wayside? Was it that?
No, he want the statues back. Maybe it was this latest thing of him restoring all of them.
And listen. I just want put D. Morris back on. Was it not the history of what the Republicans have done? And I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Were you overlooked that for all these years?
He said, I was just trying to let y'all know with the comment how he's growth and he's going a different direction. Now you pick one part of his comment.
Was it Ronald Reagan? Let me ask you something. So when you were part of the Republican Party, did you overlook when Ronald Reagan and the Contras trying to fund the war put crack in LA and sold crack to fund the illegal war that was proven? And Oliver North was the scapegoat who never went to prison for. So you overlook that, but now you've come to. Okay, all right. No, congratulations.
Well, hey, he's showing growth.
Well,
he's showing growth. Oh, let me.
He didn't say he had a revelation. He didn't say he had a revelation. He just said he denounced it. So he might have known all that, but he reached a point where he couldn't affiliate with it no more. Oh. So I'm happy for the growth, though. Hey, welcome, brother, to whatever the other side is. Not the other side like you, a Democrat, but just welcome to the side of, I don't know.
No, it's a good day to be black, because if a white person had done that, we'd give you the business.
Oh yeah, F around and find out, and you voted for this. Stay where you at. But we did go from all lives matter to you gonna get bit by alligators, and it's a funny joke, good thing. So I question some of that Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter allyship and the support, because people got clans like real quick.
His time is up.
No, I was wondering. So we'll get back to the jokes. Was it the final straw? Was it when he was on the roof of the White House answering questions? Was that the final? Was that the final straw when the old man?
Oh no, his check stopped coming in, so it was personal for him. D. Morris said something about them Republican checks stopped coming in.
Oh,
that's when it came.
Yeah. Well, what does he do for a living? What checks was he getting?
I don't know what checks he's coming.
I don't know. The link just in case he want to tell us.
So it wasn't the growth; it was the reduction. It wasn't growth; it was the reduction.
It was the reduction. It's the decrease.
That's what did it. That's what caused the revelation. He said, "Wait a minute, how much money?"
D. Morris, welcome to the side of truth and reality. I don't know because I don't know. I don't know how long he's gonna be over here. Because all it takes is that check to come back.
Or he might vote for JD Vance, right?
You never know. He might
Vance 2028.
He might say JD Vance is totally different. It's different.
Different eyeliner. Different wigs.
Yeah.
Y'all saw with the blonde wig though, right? Y'all saw JD Vance dressed with the blonde wig.
No, that's funny.
That's wild. That's a wild pick. The fact that we don't see that around a lot is like that shows you how managed the internet has become. Because back in the day, you wouldn't be able to. That'd be every day you see that somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's play this clip, and then so Dr. Smith, and then we'll get into can a healed man go back to the same woman? Put that clip. I don't know if I can put it up. I don't know.
Oh, you want the docs?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah, started 129. 129.
Yeah, 129 right
there. That is the face of that movement. So
yes.
Can you just tell me, I guess, a little bit about Nick Fuentes before the Groyper movement?
No. 1 hour and 29
that
minutes.
was my big claim to fame.
Oh, 1 hour and 29.
Yeah, slide it down. I'm sorry. Yep. 1 hour, 29 minutes.
Close enough.
That's far, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to understand if you think that it's all Black people are like this, or if your world is kind of colored by this is what's going on in America. This has failed for 1,000 reasons. Welfarism has definitely, Black people in 1940s stand up. My grandfather, I talk about that denigration and the corrosion of culture. Yeah. That's happening. White, Black, whatever you want to name it, there is this intentional corrosion of culture. So do you think it's literally, well, this is just what a Black person is when they come out? Or do you think that post welfare, LBJ, Great Society, this is what Black Americans have become? And I have a right to respond to that and say that as a white man, I don't want to live there.
Well, I think it's more nature than people would like to believe. There's this classic tension of, is it nature, is it nurture? Is it cultural, or is it intrinsic? Is it racial? And I've always been on the latter side of this among conservatives. Conservatives like to say it's all culture. Black America is the way it is because of hip hop music and the Great Society and that kind of stuff. And I think the uncomfortable reality is a big part of it is intrinsic. One of the big arguments against the abolition of slavery in the 1860s is that, when Europeans colonized Africa, they hadn't discovered the wheel. There's no two-story buildings. There's no writing. There's no written language. Missionaries had to go to Africa in the last century and invent it for the African people because there's no recorded history. They didn't have writing.
So Egypt is not in Africa.
Well, Egypt is a different race. The Egyptians were not Black.
Okay, but you said when they went to Africa, so I just want to...
The interior of Africa in the late 19th century. Scramble for Africa.
So we're now knocking Egypt out of Africa.
Well, Egypt is part of northern Africa, sub-Saharan Africa.
You said Africa, so I'm not trying to get a gotcha. I'm just responding. You're saying Africa.
Sure. Yeah.
It's in Africa. It's Egypt. It's kind of ridiculous that there was no written language. Well, so I'm just trying to get you to
sure. Egyptians are not Africans.
If I'm not pushing back, the internet will. So
Egyptians are not racial Africans. When I say African, I'm saying sub-Saharan Africans.
Sub-Saharan, okay.
Black people because it is a different race. In sub-Saharan Africa, and Europeans did not penetrate that until the late 19th century. They didn't have any of this. To the extent that you have infrastructure in Africa, it's from the Muslims in the Sahel and the Maghreb in northern Africa, where the Arabs colonized. And then you had, Carthage and Egypt. You had ancient civilizations. But sub-Saharan Africa, they didn't have that. You take these people out of that land and put them here, and they're enslaved people. You let them free in a modern, liberal republic. They're not going to succeed. It's not going to go well for them. And that was one of the arguments against abolition. People said if you free them without any assimilation, without any kind of process for them to be acclimated, they're going to die. And that's exactly what happened. Many of...
Keep going.
A little bit. You can go one more minute.
Like the bottom 10% of the lowest IQ Africans just died off for generations. And it had a you know, and pardon the expression, but it had a eugenic effect, because over time, if the weakest are dying off, that's one argument for why blacks in America have a standard deviation higher IQ than the blacks in sub-Saharan Africa. So, you know, so I do believe there is something intrinsic going on there. And what makes people uncomfortable about this is the idea
you can stop it, because go ahead, Doc. You go ahead. Egyptians were a different race. It wasn't going to go.
Buildings.
Two-story buildings. It wasn't going to go well if we freed them. It's crazy, because it wasn't going to go well because you were going to kill them, and it wasn't going to go well, but it did go well when they were left alone. It did go well. They did create everything.
But the fact that Candace Owens sat there and the only thing she had to say was Egypt. It's like, bro, where did you go to school, bro? Like, what? But this is why I get so angry, because when I'm at school and I'm welcoming students, I promise you, it's not the students who are reluctant to take these courses. It's their parents. I wanted to be a business major. I wanted to be an engineer. She could be an engineer and learn about the pyramids.
Okay, well, Doc, I have to stop you. I want you to be Candace Owens. And I want you with that microphone, when he said all this, give us your response right now.
What year are you referring to when they colonized the Africans, when the Europeans colonized the Africans? Because I was taught by my teacher, Molefe Kete Asante, the first person to create a PhD program in African American studies, you got to start with chronology. You got to have a timeline. So when are you talking about? Because last I checked, he even mentioned the Arab invasion. And people know that the Arab slave trade lasted for hundreds of years prior to the European slave trade. So he said when Europeans colonized Africa, they had none of this stuff. So if Europeans colonized Africa and they didn't have any of this stuff, then the Arabs didn't bring anything when they came. And before that, there was a Hyksos invasion and the Persians. And before that, the pyramids were already built. So who built the pyramid? That's why they always say aliens built the pyramids, and the pictures on the wall got black over time, and Timbuktu had a whole library, but they didn't write. Papyrus paper started in Africa, but the writing started with Homer and the Iliad. Because when I ask my students, what's the first book you know about? They say Beowulf, the Bible, and the Iliad. And I make sure I tell them, like Dr. Asante said in a speech called Decolonizing University, that Homer is 1000 AD. You could type in the maxims of Ptah-hotep, P-T-A-H, Ptah-hotep. You know, the one that everybody start using a pejorative now, like a curse word, hotep, because they stupid. Ptah-hotep, 26 to 2800 BC. Homer is 1000 AD. That's almost 4,000 years different. That means Africans were writing 4,000 years before that first book that you get when you go to world civilizations and start in Greece and talk about white people. And he said there's a Greek at every corner when you go to school, whether it's Thales or Socrates or Homer, every subject you want. You want theater, we give you this. You want philosophy, we give you this. You want democracy, we give you Socrates. So you leave there with all these men that look like Santa Claus, thinking that they're the originators of all these disciplines. You don't know Dwarf. You don't know Amenemhat. You don't know any of these African philosophers. You don't know that Socrates went to Africa to study at the feet of African masters. You could read it in their writings. Herodotus, father of history, went to Africa and said that the people had black faces. Like, it's written clearly. People that went there said they're black, woolly hair, black skinned. Like, this isn't debatable. I went to the tombs. I've been there in Cairo, walking around, looking like, how does this lie persist? And then I watch even stories of people talking about whitewashing the actual images on the walls of the pyramid. They're literally changing the complexion and defacing, you know, priceless history as we speak. Literally, the term whitewashing isn't just a term that came out of thin air. Like, it came from the iconoclasts when they used to change the nature of the images and change black images. Like when Putin just brought out all those images of Christ and all that from thousands of years ago in the vault, they was all black. The whole world was black. Race didn't even start till like the 15th century. So the stuff we're talking about, the period we're talking about, race didn't even exist. People were Nazarene and all that other stuff you read about in the Bible and all these other ethnic and geographical groups. Race didn't start till Blumenbach and all these other things, and with Darwin's cousin and all this stuff later on. So there's no reason to write somebody as black skinned if they weren't black skinned. When they met him, they just said how they looked. But here comes Fuentes talking about no two-story buildings when there's just as many or more pyramids in Nubia than there is in Egypt. Civilization came from Nubia to Egypt, not the other way around. The Nubian civilization is older than Egypt. Like, it's just so much stupidness. You can go right now to Timbuktu when they can on YouTube. Put Timbuktu Library. Put African scrolls. Put Coptic Christians in Ethiopia with the original Bibles, and like they'll show you the pictures in the Bible with the black people in them. People still have these scripts. They still speak these languages, Ge'ez and Aramaic. Like, that's why the Jewish people go over there and they see these Lemba Jews with the same garb and the same language. And they're like, "How are y'all Jewish?" And they're like, "No, we're the original Jews." Then they did all these DNA tests. There's a guy named Sheikh Anta Diop who did DNA test, language test, and looked at culture and was like, these people are black. They had a literal melanin test. After he did those tests, when they tried to reject him at the UNESCO conference for his dissertation, he had to try like 3 times. They stopped testing the mummies. That's why you don't see them with all this new technology. They can go to the moon. They can terraform Mars. Why don't you check the mummies then? Why you stop checking the mummies for the melanin test? Because all they got to do is check the mummy, and not let alone the cheekbones, the nose, the lips, the hair. They used to have a wig room in one of the museums, and they stopped taking people on the tour because the wig room clearly shows what all the hair looked like. Even in some of the mummies now, you can see the hair. You can look at, remember, there was a picture of Michelle Obama split screen with King Tut's mother, Queen T. Looks just like it. The afro with the mean face. She got like the black woman not having it face, not taking no crap, right? And obviously, right? They had Sigourney Weaver play Queen Afua in the guys. What white person is named Afua? Like, we don't gotta get deep, bro. Afua was a white woman, and then she had to weave. Talking about it was a wig. So white people with white hair was in Africa when it was 140 degrees, named Afua with the, like, it gets so stupid. Then you can look right on the wall and see the same person with dark black skin. And say, but if that's her, why you? I went to the King Tut exhibit when they was protesting here in Philadelphia when they brought King Tut. You go through all the King Tut exhibit, you see Akhenaten with the big ass lips and the nose, and you see King Tut, all the brown faces. Then you get to the end, they say, this is a recreation of what we think he looked like. Face looked like Prince Charles. That picture y'all might have seen where it looked like a white man with the long head. And it's just nonsense, like utter nonsense. But black people today are like, yeah, they look Arab to me today.
So when he says Egypt was a different race in Africa, can you explain?
After the invasion, after the 7th century, people invaded. John Henry Clark said it clearly. Anybody who came to Africa did not add anything to Africa. People that came to Africa was robbers and invaders and colonizers. It was on the descent. These empires, Taharka and all these different empires in Africa before the invasion of the Hyksos was up. After all these invasions, yes, it became all kind of mixed, and there was a time where the Greeks was ruling in Egypt and all this. That happened later. Black people came before white people. You can say it as simple as that. Black people were on the planet for more time in recorded history than it was migrated. Human history, 2/3 of human history occurred on the continent of Africa. If you break up the whole entire human story into 3 parts, 2 of those parts are so long and so large, it's before anybody migrated off the continent. That's the reality of the human story. Everybody was black. Everybody was in Africa. There was no Greece. There was no Europe. These niggas are lying on a Planet of the Apes level. Remember Planet of the Apes, where they told them it was an ape country and y'all in a foreign land? And that's the story of the African American. And that's why at the end of the movie, he looks up and he sees he's been home all along. And he says, damn you all to hell. When I saw the Washington Monument and I realized that was an African obelisk, a Tekenu that's all over Africa, that when you look at the Vatican and Vanderbilt in Dublin, you can see the hieroglyphs are still on them. They broke them up, shipped them over the sea, and put them in Ireland and in the Vatican. And they stole those Tekenus and put them all over the world and then recreated their own as the Washington Monument. Not only Washington Monument, the water that's there at Washington, it's the same thing the way the layout is. With the columns you see right there where Abraham Lincoln is sitting, just like Ramses, you can go and see in Africa, they had the water, they had the Tekenu, they had the poles, they had the seat. They took the whole thing and then tried to act like we didn't know how to learn or write. On the back of the dollar bill, they got the pyramid, and a course is a block on a pyramid. At Temple University, if you take a class, you know what they call it, Mike? What? You know what they call it, Jay?
What's
that? A course. They call it a course. They have a course reference number. You take your courses in college. You know what your last course is called when you get to your major and you're about to graduate? A capstone course. A capstone is the triangular block on the top of the pyramid where you see that all-seeing eye on the back of the dollar bill. They're using an African architectural structure for education all over the world while they're acting like Africans didn't create anything. I'm talking to people at Martin Luther King High School when I was working there, and they're telling me that they don't think college is for them. I got to tell them, you gave the world college. The first college is Waset, later called Luxor by the Greeks. That university system, that mystery system, that's all us. That's why everybody in the world, like Socrates, was coming to Africa to study. The niggas was crawling on all fours, eating animals in caves. Before the Moors taught Spain how to bathe, they were bragging. The queen bragged that she only took 2 baths in her life. Like, this is not up for debate. We're trying to be nice, because if we really tell the real history and be like, yo, when you hear the story of, I don't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, if you ever saw like Oliver Twist, right? In Europe, they didn't have that irrigation. That's why they talked about the stench. That's why the Black Plague. People had boils all over them. They wasn't washing. The Moors came over there and showed them the spices and the bathing techniques and all that. Just like today, people talking about they don't use washcloths and they bathe their kids once a week. This is cultural. If it was you that did it, why are you digging them up now? You won't dig up George Washington. If those are your ancestors, why do you want to dig them up and take them on tour all the damn time? They're not your ancestors. You wouldn't go dig up your ancestors. They ain't digging up Ben Franklin. Go do that tour. Go dig up Ben Franklin. Oh, he's connected to you. You dig up our ancestors because you know that ain't y'all. You don't see them digging up nobody that look like them ever and getting a profit from it. Nonsense. But you got black people sitting there nodding. Yeah, man, we didn't have fire. There's chariots and spaceship looking things on the wall. Like on the wall, you could see. Like, what are we talking about?
Yes, I watched a podcast. Someone mentioned the bathing process or lack thereof. I love this. Absolutely everything, Ms. Parker said.
Preach, brother. They feeling what you're saying, Doc.
But I'm just saying, but to have a whole community of reaction videos, and Candace Owens, who's one of the biggest black voices right now, take it or leave it, love it or hate it, she made #1 for the anti-Israel list. You know, they make a list every year about their enemies. And Candace Owens made #1. So she's known all around the world as a threat, as an agitator, as a person who's, you know, expressing. For her to sit there as a black woman and let him say they didn't have words. There's more writing in the Nile Valley than all of the rest of the world put together. Like, I don't think people understand how many libraries and books were burned. That's the main thing about conquest. Even now, you see DeSantis and Trump trying to go to the museums, take down, you know, they erased a part of the Constitution recently that dealt with habeas corpus and had to put it back because they got caught on the website, right? They're trying to, that's what they do. You got to look at patterns. They come in, they lie, they rewrite the history, they claim credit for things they didn't create. This is white culture. Notice I didn't say European culture. This is white culture. That's why I have a problem with people describing themselves as white, because the only reason to describe yourself as white is to identify with a system of privilege that disenfranchises and exploits people that are considered non-white. Otherwise, you could be German, Irish, Polish. Why would you abandon a flag, a landmass, a language, and hundreds, if not thousands of years of ethnic history? The only reason you do that is because you know you're playing this nasty game that is all about anti-blackness, and you come here, and the same person that was just Irish yesterday comes here and says they're white. So when I hear somebody say they're white, I say, oh, you with the shits. You playing the game. You an op. Otherwise, you just say what you say when you go home. When you go to Ireland, you don't say you white. Just Irish. When you go to Italy, you don't say you white. So you come in here to get your privilege. You come in here to get your entitlement. You come in here to box me out of what's mine because you know it's a hierarchy and then there's haves and have-nots. You trying to be one of the haves instead of deconstruct the system of unfairness. So say you white around me and I'll give you a lesson.
I'm going to pause and I'm going to allow people to ponder for a little bit on what was just said. I'm just going to let y'all chill and just take that in for a little bit. Because I can't even get into my next. We need to definitely break right now.
We're going to ratchet after that.
No, we're not going
to. Rebel, he's in the green room, so you know that's coming up.
Oh, yeah, he probably want to say something about it too. I'm sure he feels it.
So let's bring in, let me get his intro. Where is Kamari's intro? Here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is.
It's Thursday time to get your finances together with the Finance Rebel. Let's go.
Ain't no stopping us. Ain't no stopping us.
Good morning, sir.
What up there, Kamari? What's going on? What's popping? What's good?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all should have warned me. I was taking some aspirin.
Kamari.
Listening to that lady.
Yeah.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, PhillyTaxTeam.com.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about.
And real quick, this is the problem with making this a profitable situation with Candace Owens, because it's not a movement. So it turns into just watching a sporting event. And what we saw was her failing. But she's never going to know she was failing because the numbers are going to be racked up, because it's a profitable thing. And whenever you make a movement into money making and you make it part of capitalism, it gets compromised, because no one is going to explain that to her, because you can't, because the checks are coming in.
But let's be clear. She has always played both sides of the fence, and she knows that. And I don't want to derail what y'all got going on. I'll just say for the record, I don't like her. I have a lot of strong names for her. I usually don't use those kind of names for black women, but she exudes all of the attributes of an op. And to me, in my opinion, we should blackball her and not even talk about her. But that's all I got.
Now,
we don't have that choice when she's doing that to black people, because that video is going to be seen by tens of millions of people, and the students I encounter in the future are going to raise their hand in my class and say, "Did you ever see that Nick Fuentes?" And I'm gonna have to go da. And if I don't acknowledge it and study it and be capable of breaking it down, it'll permeate as fact.
But that's also part of the reason why Trump is in power, because the media has given him so much power. We are not a part of that. I got that, Doc. But she is dangerous. I'll just leave it.
You gotta know your enemy. You gotta know your enemy. I want to know what my enemy's always doing.
And this is the part you can't take. This game is all about manipulation.
Yes, it is.
So when she is on the list of exposing what Israel has pimped this country and is breaking, people are breaking closer to trying to find the truth on why Israel is able to do this, why, then we have to use her. Continue on.
That part too?
Continue speaking.
There's others, but go ahead.
And no, but there's a list of others. But the fact of the matter is, if you're going to initiate that downfall, go ahead, my child. It doesn't mean we fuck with her, but go ahead.
Enemy of my enemy. Enemy of my enemy, my friend.
If you can make a little crack in the wall, which leads to a bigger crack, which leads to everybody going, well, what is this Israel thing? Like, what exactly is going on? And speaking of that, and then we're gonna get to the topic. We're gonna get to the topic. Speaking of what here's a few things on what the Israel thing has now balled into. The small little snowball going down a hill is getting bigger and bigger.
Trending for all the wrong reasons. Again, he's going to deny aid to Americans if they decide they want to boycott Israel. How is that not treason? He is going to deny Americans in need disaster funding if he finds out that that city or state that is in need is boycotting Israel. You might say, actually, morally, we think it is wrong for us to in any way engage with Israel because we are watching them starve children daily. That's your right as an American. Now, all of a sudden, Trump is taking the position, the extraordinary position, that actually it's not your right to do that when it comes to Israel. Of course, you could, if you want today, boycott American companies. But Israel, they're saying you can't do that. Why is that? Because America is not a sovereign nation. And if you are under any illusions that America is a sovereign nation, you need to wake up.
So when that starts opening up that can of worms, open it up, because it's something that needs to be talked about, something that needs to be exposed. And Cory Booker and Hakeem Jeffries, you're in on it too.
They all are.
And that's why Cory Booker voted against cutting the funds. Cutting the funds to Israel.
And got vocal.
And you sat up there and you took it. and you showed your true colors. And there's an allegiance here, and keep that comment on here. I think this
trending for all the wrong reasons. Again,
there's another one I want to show you.
Well, Mike, real quick, I have one of my theories when I was in graduate school was what I call beneficial extraction. And I've long said we have to remove the impulsivity and the emotionality out of our analysis to be more strategic. I'm known for saying if you're not as strategic as your enemy, you can't expect victory. So the enemy is able to assassinate and infiltrate the Black Panther Party, but with surgical precision, take their breakfast program and make it a government program. If we're not able to divorce our dislike for Candace Owens and have that level of strategy and say, wait, what did she do right? Like you said about the way that she's attacked, we can't win because they're that meticulous. They will put all their emotions aside and say, I hate these niggas. I'm gonna kill these niggas, but I like that breakfast program. That was effective. And they'll take it from you and then rewrite the history and act like they started it. So we have to have, I see Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas, the biggest seller in the world, he achieved his dream. He got to the highest realms. There's something to learn there. That's how military strategy works. When you watch tapes, you don't say, I don't like this team, I'm not watching the tape. You say, I want to beat this team. I'm going to study every player on this team. I'm going to watch how they handle, how they punch. I'm going to watch everything. So beneficial extraction. Take what is good. She has a major platform. We're trying to get a major platform.
Doc, I'm all for studying. But some people, and this is just my opinion, some people don't need to be talked about in public. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Well, here's another clip. Here's another clip. I think this is another clip. Not from Candace.
We got breaking news. Donald Trump has just announced that he will withhold disaster relief funds from any American city that boycotts Israel. Because America first or something. So we got breaking news.
So this is the story and the momentum and the way it's being exposed. People, for lack of a well, fuck it, just another cliche. People are now aware and people are coming to their senses, going like, this doesn't make any sense, and we need to know why. Because even in Texas, they found out how much money Texas, their taxpayer money, was going to Israel, and Governor Abbott re-signed saying, yeah, it's going to continue to go. So the most racist person is going, how is that possible? We only like white people. Why are we sending this money to them? Israel has a lot of politicians. They have most of the politicians.
What's the comment before that, Jay? I didn't know what the false equivalents were. I was curious to know if you could...
Everything Candace Owens says or does is a false equivalent.
So it looks like Shelly, Afro Queen, they all agreeing with Kamari when it comes to not giving her light, not even bringing her up.
Dumb people out here, y'all, and she just adds to the dumb shit.
But you gotta understand, if she's
okay, here's my question though. Here's, as a student, how do we stop her?
We don't need to stop her. We can focus on all the other stuff. Listen, everything you said, Doc, is real.
But it's not the adults I'm worried about. I work with the babies. How do we stop her from influencing the babies?
Everything you said is correct. We do have to study. We do have to study more. That is all true. But certain things, and I'm not trying to go against the show, but certain things and certain people, we don't need to talk about it all. And that's part of the reason why Donald Trump is even in office, because media kept talking about him. Because these idiots out here can't add 1 + 1 and know that it equals 2.
But doesn't that go against your point then? Not us just not get no. What this let me
all right, I'm sorry.
Now you're getting all Jerry Springer now.
I am.
All right. We attempted to not give him light.
No, they didn't. Not y'all, not you. I'm talking about mass media.
But what do you, with us not giving him light, you're telling me if we didn't talk about him, he wouldn't have been the president?
Not us in this.
No, us in general. What media do we control that was gonna stop him from?
I'm talking about major media. I'm saying that I love what Fearless just did, right? Everything she says is bullshit. And we have to say that even talking about it. We need to do that. So I'll just leave it at that, y'all.
But my point is, everything she says is not bullshit.
It is, because everything she does is disingenuous. That's why I call it bullshit.
It doesn't matter if it's disingenuous.
It does matter. It does matter.
No, it doesn't.
Understand the intentions
See,
of a person.
this is the art of war. It doesn't matter if it's disingenuous, if it favors us and we use her for that. That is the game of this manipulation. That is the game of the manipulation. And we do it all the time.
Exactly, Afro Queen.
We engaging her content leads to her. We're not gonna stop that. My thing is, you use what you feel. Oh, you want to talk about that? Well, go talk about it. Go ahead, because we're not gonna win that fight without you being part of that team. Who we know she's not on our team, so we're gonna use you. You bring down your team.
Well,
So
let me try to elevate the vibration. This message is going out to the babies. You don't have an option to talk about or be moved by how you feel. The message is going out to the babies. You have an obligation to intercede. You have an obligation to use your voice and your platform to stop that kind of attack on our babies. It's not, I don't like her. We got to grow up. There's a million things I don't like, but I have to engage for the sake of the liberation of African people worldwide. You think I want to watch all these videos and read all these books? No, I want to be a master strategist and liberate my people. And I realize that my enemy doesn't seem to care about who they like. My enemy will sleep with the woman and then dog her out and then sell her kids. Like, they don't care. That's the enemy you're dealing with. So once you get emotional, you're at a disadvantage with this enemy. This is not about giving somebody light. She's already all over the world. She's international. Tens, if not hundreds of millions of views. Tens of millions of dollars. What are we talking about? She's one of the most visible threats to the correct information about African people being disseminated in the world today. But I don't like her. I can't do that with y'all. That's where we got to part ways intellectually. I have an obligation to engage this content, to use my platform and my voice and my credentials and my expertise to make sure that these babies do not replicate the ignorance that our parents had about Africa. Because when they hear something about no fire, no words, no books, no two-story buildings in Africa, it's my responsibility as an Afrocentric scholar to speak up and attack and bring the kind of light that'll cure. It's a one drop of purity to cure a cesspool. When somebody's parent arrives at a club, everybody pauses and the lights come on, even though it's not your mom, because there's one parent there, to give a ratchet analogy. All you need is a drop of truth and to say, wait a minute, where did Socrates go to school? A question as simple as that could send somebody on a rabbit hole of liberation and facts. You can't sit there and talk about who you like. This ain't high school, y'all. Come on.
Good morning.
I have to go back. I have to be a high school person. Squeeze is back, y'all. Squeeze is back.
Good morning, Squeeze.
We ain't seen Squeeze in a long time. Squeeze is back. Yeah. Squeeze is back. There you go. She's back. We ain't seen her in a long, long time. What up? All's well.
We miss you, Sequisa. We miss you.
Yes.
Yeah, I work with people I don't like, Mike. I told y'all that a couple years ago. I was working with people I didn't like.
No, he's saying one argument is the enemy of my enemy and knowing who the person is. And Kamari is saying, like, no, don't give her no light. But the doc is saying she already got the light. She's already out there. She's influencing people.
So yeah, we should attack and deconstruct. We should attack and deconstruct.
I'm down with attacking and deconstructing. But this lady, because I'm choosing my words carefully now, because I don't want to disrespect a black woman or what I call a dark-skinned white person. This lady means us no good. She's been lying to us for years, and nobody has attacked that. And I would venture to say she isn't as relevant as we give her power to be. But hey.
And that's why we're having this dialogue, because we have a space where we can talk about the most mindless shit ever and be ready. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Be ready. It's coming. It's coming. And then we can have dialogue about certain situations like this and topics that are affecting the world. And we give the best that we have. And a broke clock is right twice. Listen, Afro Queen, I know she's manipulating the game for money. I get that. I understand that. But when you have anybody who's fighting to expose the control that Israel has over this country, it's a rabbit hole that needs to be gone down through. That truth is what needs to come out.
And what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know, because I don't have a crystal ball.
I know what's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. But
they just took a historic vote yesterday that Mike was talking about as far as the support for Israel and giving weapons. So there's a shift that is taking place. I'm not saying she's the reason for the shift, but internationally, between the genocide and what's going on, there's a shift taking place. And every voice that's pushing that past the tipping point, we should push that voice in that direction, whether we like them or not.
And the war criminal named as Netanyahu, who won't get out of power because they know he's going to get locked up, He ain't going nowhere. No time soon.
This is the thing. And I just want to say, when people say nothing, there have been countries whose entire governments have been taken down. And listen, if that's your belief, that nothing's going to change. You can only keep the current going the way it's going when the rest of the world is saying he's a war criminal, and we're getting the information now for the first time in my lifetime that we're getting the information that this man that we're in cahoots with is a war criminal. 15 years ago, I wouldn't have known that. I know that now. So now people are putting pressure. And we're even exposing people who are supposed to be on our team. I'm more mad at Cory Booker and Hakeem Jeffries than I will ever be at Candace Owens. You should be more pissed at Hakeem Jeffries and Candace Owens than Candace Owens ever.
And Cory Booker.
Cory Booker ever.
We thought they was with us. We thought
you want to talk about some frauds?
They
don't want to support the Democratic nominee in New York City because he won't support Israel.
The way they want. He didn't say they support. The way they want him to.
The way they want him to. And there's a lady, she's in Congress now. I should have put the video up because she said when she got her position, the first phone call she got was AIPAC knows that you stand against them. They just want you to be silent. And she said, I'm not scared of them. So there is change coming, but people are going to risk lives to do this and going to risk careers to do this.
Okay.
Well, that's always been one of America's greatest strengths. American exceptionalism is built on propaganda. That's why in 1963 they were saying black people are moving too fast, asking for peace. That's why during emancipation, prior to that, and abolitionist times, they were saying, yeah, black people will never be free. Like the beauty of black people is that despite what we have seen, that's why we say before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave. Your great grandmother's in slavery, your grandmother's in slavery, your mom's in slavery, you're in slavery, and still you don't even identify as a slave, let alone believe that's going to be your existence. Your circumstance is not your identity. So the beauty of us, the reason why we can't forget our history is because we never thought like that. It was white people who said we'll be in bondage in perpetuity. We said we'll be free. We believe in change. It was white people that said segregation now, segregation forever, like George Wallace. We, like Dr. King said, I have a dream and one day things will change. It was white people that said the Republican, it was Barack Obama said change. We always understood that things are definitely going to change. Not only might they will definitely change. You know why? Because we said so and we believe in. We're the moral compass of this nation and this world. And that's why Harriet Tubman was more correct than the slave master. King was more right than Johnson. And the black people today who say, oh, yes, it is going to change is more right than anybody who says different. So it is going to change. Because I go by a black tradition that believes in change and makes it happen. That Harriet Tubman tradition. Fannie Lou Hamer left the plantation to go register to vote. She had to believe that one day it's going to be different.
We can still be.
Come on, man. We black. We gotta believe it's good. We gotta know it's gonna change.
We can still be in the tradition of Harriet Tubman and Fannie Lou Hamer without using the op that's playing in our face. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's a different point. I was saying about you saying. I was saying the point you said it's nothing gonna change. When you said nothing's gonna change, I'm like, no, it's gonna change. It's going to change. And our words are curses and spells and blessings and create reality. So I'm speaking change forever. I'm never going to speak defeatism. Like Marcus Garvey said, somebody who don't believe they can win is twice defeated.
Let me read this comment. Notice how
Netanyahu's going to go. Trump is going to go. That's the way you got to think. Netanyahu's going to go. Trump's going to go. And if they don't change, they're going to fall. Their nations are going to fall. Just like Rome fell. They thought Rome was going to last forever. They said, let the sun never set in the British Empire. British Empire fell. Every single empire has always fallen. Why does America think it's different?
No, I don't think it's different. But all
every
of those
empire falls
fell from the inside. Rome fell from the inside.
So change going to come. Sam Cooke, bro. Sam Cooke. Change going to come. Change going to come.
The British Empire fell.
It's been a long time coming.
The British
Empire.
Hard
talking.
And so will America.
Change. That's all I'm saying.
Notice how instead of defending Candace, he got y'all on a tangent talking about other people. Typical tactics. We're talking. We're having a dialogue, which leads in. We're having a show, which leads into.
It was a Nick Fuentes clip. First of all,
yeah, it wasn't even about Candace Owens.
It wasn't Nick. She asked Nick Fuentes a question about his ideas, and he answered. Like, let's just start there, because y'all really doing a lot with the Candace thing. Like we just had a whole Candace fest where she was breaking down her philosophies. Candace asked Nick a question about his position on black people. Nick answered. We didn't even go back to Candace's response. Like, grow up, y'all. Come on, level up a little bit.
Kyle's just saying he hate when you when people internalize their.
But she didn't. Her rhetoric wasn't part of the clip. Well, the second clip was an intro clip. That's different. But the clip we played to start this conversation was Nick Fuentes talking 90% of the time about his ideas and her asking him about his ideas.
You're right.
Nobody was platforming Candace. If anything, was platforming Nick Fuentes.
And anybody who was listening to the show and those viewers, those lower viewers, and we love y'all who have watched the show, I said, when there's 10 to 15 million in front of the Capitol saying that this regime has to go, that's when he'll leave.
And that does start with an idea, Mike. Like that, people gotta stop doing that. Because I used to do that when I was younger. I used to be like, y'all not really about this action, because real action is the action comes from conversations and strategies and plans and organizing. Before Rosa Parks sat down on the bus, they had organizing meetings. They talked, y'all. Like, stop that, black people. Stop thinking nobody talked. That's why we go out in the street today, stupid, with signs and anger, and we don't have any economic initiative like Operation Breadbasket, because Dr. King was talking to Leon Sullivan. Talking changes a lot of things. Talking creates plans and strategies, so when you have your physical action, it makes sense and has a lasting quality and can be linked to institutions that are built. When I was 17, I was talking the same dumbass way. Oh, talking don't do nothing. There's examples of people praying in hospitals that change people's whole blood and levels and all that. Prayer changes things. Words are powerful. Read the 4 agreements. In the beginning was the word. Like, words are everything. Don't act like words don't have power. When people speak truth over their life and you, what was that guy? Napoleon Hill, right? Think and Grow Rich. You heard of him, though, right?
Yes.
Or the Bible, right? We could do it. The word is powerful. When you say I can do it, they say the person who says I can and I can't are both right. You gotta say I got this. You gotta speak some truth and power over your life. If there's no power in your words, that's why people with no money feel like they gotta kill themselves. That's why people get diagnosed from the doctor feel like there's no hope, because they can't speak a blessing and a word over their life. By his stripes they healed. This too shall pass. Words are powerful. Don't do that. Not around no Christian. Not around no black. No. Words are powerful. Words mean everything.
Well, Kyle's comment, we're talking and they already implementing their plan. The issue is getting stuck talking. People are talking. What Texas is doing by leaving and going, that is a movement. There are people taking action. But in order for them to take action, we have to support, not only with our actions, but with our words. And words are tremendously.
But the comment there, I agree. Faith without works is dead. Yes, that I agree with. You got to combine the two. But I'm not negating either one.
Now, the gift and the curse of what this cell phone has done and what this social media has done, it's
Kyle
bad.
Said, black people have been praying for 400 years, Doc. They've been praying for 400 years.
Doing those go ahead, Doc.
And that's the only reason we're still here. I think it was Kwanzaa Kuntu who says every time you see a black person, you're looking at a walking miracle. They wanted us in bondage forever, and they wanted to kill us all. They was giving us forced sterilization. Sisters going and getting regular checkups with their uterus coming out. Yeah, you have no idea the level of how amazing it is that we are still here in this country, prospering, working in our right state of mind, still loving our skin after all the blackface and all that. Man, please. That's what sustained us.
We keep overcoming. They keep trying.
They don't know how bad it was. People have no idea how bad it really was. That's why they be talking like we ain't come nowhere.
Kyle said that's a low bar, though. That's a low bar.
What's the low bar?
I guess
to become president and billionaires and millionaires and everything and lead culture and create jazz, rock, R&B, whether technology, the cell phone, laser eye surgery, the refrigerator, the fire extinguisher, like we created all of that, all our inventions. The fact that American culture is really black culture.
Good morning, BC.
Like what?
He's up.
I think we've been programmed to downplay, and until we get people like Dr. Aaron Smith to remind us the accomplishments that have been made in this country through something that wasn't supposed to happen. We weren't supposed to be here. We weren't supposed to be here. We were supposed to be in chains. So we were supposed to be enslaved. This is a miracle, and you got to give yourself credit, Kyle. You got to give yourself credit for what you are. You weren't supposed to be where you are, Kyle. The low bar that you keep making is a high bar. People of a different skin color wouldn't have made it through you to where you're at. So you got to stop downplaying what you've accomplished. This is set up.
And these are people. But these are people that have killed people. These are people that have genocided other people. When you talk about Tasmania, right? Tasmanian devil, Tasmanians were wiped out. They've engaged with groups of people that don't exist anymore. This is not just a warlike people. These are warlike genocidal people. They went all over the world erasing peoples. Talk about the Native Americans. They said it was like 90 million. Now you can hardly even find a Native American. Like, they wipe people off the planet, this enemy that we're dealing with. And we're still here. Leading them. They trying to be like us and copy us and learn from us. Like, man, come on. Come on, bro. Like, there's something so defeatist and pessimistic about it. That's one of the hardest parts about working with my people. They so religious and so, but they don't believe. They don't believe we got this. They don't believe that we've done it a million times. We've overcome. They've had all the money and we've won. They've had all the weapons and we've won. They've had all the positions and we've still won. All right, now we got positions and some money and we can't win.
Kyle said, you said we're here. And I said, if that's the bar, it's low. But once again, do you understand their whole system was not to have us here. And if we were here was to be enslaved.
It's not a low bar if you know what somebody's been through. You don't know people's testimony. If somebody says I'm still here and you hear what they've been through, you might think it's a miracle too. There's people right now that could tell you some things they've been through and you'd be like, yo, it's a miracle you're still alive. It's a miracle you hear. So yes, it can be a miracle to exist depending on what you've been through. That's why people need to know our story. If you knew what we've been through, then you'd be like, wow, I'm surprised.
Kyle knows our story. And he's saying y'all misunderstanding his point. And sadly, text a lot of times does not translate properly.
Empirically, it's not a low bar. Empirically, I can say colonization society, like they tried to erase us. Crack cocaine. Was you here for crack?
I could see how we were mistaking his text. So if you have the link, so I can see, I can go and see through that. But here I don't even want to play this clip, but I'm going to play the clip because I think I loaded it up, and it almost feels I can't even think of the word. Well, fuck it, I'm gonna play it, and then y'all tell me, and then we're gonna move on because this whole show is supposed to be about can a healed man go back to the same way?
It's not Candace Owens, is it? It's not Candace Owens, is it? It's not. It's not Candace Owens' relationship advice. No, Candace Owens.
Believe it or not, it's somebody who can trigger people even worse than Candace Owens.
Oh, no, let's go. Let's keep it going.
So I'm gonna play the clip. This is Charleston White. This is Charleston White talking about black people now and black people then. And
so he can't trigger me more than Candace Owens, for the record.
All right. Well, you better listen to this first.
I've heard all this nonsense.
All right. Go ahead.
We ain't been through shit. Who is we? They, the nigga, have been through shit. The nigga ain't been through nothing. He got free education. He got to go skating. He got to say, F you white people. He got to talk back to the police. The never had that. It's not the same. Yeah. Give a fuck what you say, nigga. One of them is a race of people who was in bondage and enslaved. Another one is a group of people who is everything that they said those people were, but were not. We are ignorant. Those people wasn't. We're savages. Those people wasn't. We're animalistic. Those people wasn't. We deserve what they got. They deserve what we have. So how can we be offended by a word we're not being called?
All right, so I'll leave it there. So anybody want to comment on that?
I agree with Kyle. Charleston White is a character. He's trying to be the best Denzel Washington out there. And that's proof. He said that himself. So when I watch him say those things, I don't believe he means shit of what he's saying. Nothing. He's trying to do a performance.
Entertainment. He says only entertainment.
I will say when he was with Cam Newton on his interview, he said, I tried. I wore a bow tie. I was standing in front of council meetings. I was standing in state meetings. And y'all didn't want to listen.
And the crazy thing about him, right? And we have to look at ourselves at this. And what he's doing is quote unquote working. And we go for it.
Who?
I say they go for it. They go for it.
Okay, I'm speaking broadly. Go ahead, Mike. I see you got something.
I just feel I just feel that we pick and choose who we believe. And we go, yeah, but what he said didn't make any sense. But I don't believe him. Even if what he says does, even if he does say something. And I think we're caught up in this matrix now where we're taking we're rolling the dice on. Yeah, I believe him or her. I believe, but I don't believe. But they're all in the same game. They're all playing the same game.
No,
he's definitely playing a game.
Mike, we all skipped over the story purposely. The real story is what you said initially about he tried. That's what nobody wants to talk about.
He tried.
Including
me.
And I made a similar comment yesterday. Remember yesterday I was talking about not supporting Martin Luther King's kids, right? We'll go paint lockers. We don't support Malcolm X's kids. They got to try to have rap careers, right? When I saw that the people didn't support the people that martyred themselves for the community, I reevaluated my sacrifice for the community and created a long-term plan to do great work, have impact, but still live my life. I said, y'all ain't gonna t-shirt me, made in China. That's all they was ready to give me. When I was watching Sister Soldier get attacked by Bill Clinton and all that, all I saw the community ready to do was celebrate you after you gone for a little while. And I said, no, you're not going to do me like that. Because other people protect their people. Like I said about John Gotti, he was outside fighting the police, flipping cars for John Gotti, and he done killed a bunch of people. So I saw the Italian community protecting theirs. We talked Woody Allen. I saw the Jewish community. You had never seen an Asian on TV dogging no Asian leaders, right? I saw everybody else protecting their leaders, and I saw black people offering their leaders up because they didn't like something they did. I said, y'all ain't gonna get me. And that's why I'm here right now, 50 years old, still alive, because I ain't go for it. Y'all, and I was a known crash out. I'm talking about Mike. There was a cop in the cafeteria at Temple, picked him up in the air with his gun on his hip, slammed him on his back. They were saying, don't do it, Smitty. Right? I was crashing all the way out, due to die real soon. But I said, look at these. They don't care. And I would go to the meetings. I would speak up. I would get arrested, and everybody's be like, nah. Charleston White for years was doing it the way y'all act like y'all want us to do it. Y'all didn't support him. Talk about that. Stop talking about his reaction to you not helping him. Because that's all it is. All you're seeing now is his reaction to years of black people saying, talking don't do nothing. He's like, nigga, guys, to start, I went to the down hall. You know what? I got y'all.
And y'all, we can say, I've interviewed Charleston White. I've talked with him behind the scenes. He has said some shit that everybody is scared to say that was right on point. And you can call him a character all you want.
He called himself a character.
No, well, everybody is a character.
No.
People, listen, everybody is a character. Everybody, when they have a public persona, becomes a character. Every person you name will become a character. That is this is the whole thing of it. We are all profile. You have a character. We know you. Your character is from outside looking in. We know you as a man who will help you with taxes, give you financial advice. We know Doc as a professor who definitely will give you history, who is in the fight. You know me as a comedian who will speak his mind. You know Jay Black, Jay Black as an instigator. You know him as the person who goes in. This whole thing.
All the world's a stage. All the world's a stage. It's been said a lot. Like this is known. Like this ain't something really debate and argue.
Authentic people aren't characters. Everybody turns into a character. People. That's what people turned them into. That's what we did. We turned Martin Luther King into a character. He was just peaceful. Yep. He liked white people. He wanted everybody to hold hands. That was the character that we created for him. Malcolm was just a murderer who didn't have. He scared everybody. There's no way his plan could work. That was the character that is portrayed. So when a person says he's playing a character, we actually really are.
No, but
it's like the Kanye line in All Falls Down. When he says we're all self-conscious, I'm just the first to admit it. That's how I feel about Charleston White saying he's a character. We're all playing roles. He's just the first to admit it.
But
we're all playing roles and got personas.
He's doing this for money.
Well, if you know his origin, if you know his origin story, I think it comes from that pain. I think we broke his heart. But I think we broke his heart. I think we're looking at trauma. Since we talked about that yesterday, I think we're looking at he's acting out based on trauma. He wasn't acting like that, talking like that back then. So something must have happened. Years of trying to help a community that was not receptive. He said he watched people die, watched people go to jail. He was in that gang culture, and he saw it all. Like after you get locked up and then try to be the spokesperson, after a while, not me, but there are people who are like, yo, F this. Trying to help people who got everything to say but nothing to do, but then they want to say words don't matter, but they don't want to take no action because I've been to these town hall meetings. It's like 3 black people. Y'all don't even go to the meetings.
We got people.
Y'all don't even go to the meetings. They say words don't matter, but when it's time to act, there's no black people in the meetings. Even PTA meetings, the parents don't even show up for their own kids.
So let me get this straight.
But if a Republican says that, they get mad.
Let Kamar finish.
Let me get this straight. So we got all these people who actually do authentic things, real things. If you want to call them characters, cool. But they are working in the truest form of themselves. And then there's some people who are playing a role. We want to put up those people. Is that what y'all telling me?
All right, let me tell you. You're saying playing a role. You're saying playing a role. I'm saying I am an Afrocentric. I'm an Afrocentric scholar. But when I do my Dr. Smith thing, when I go get hired to facilitate and I do my it's still a persona. It's a persona that emanates from a genuine place. They're not mutually exclusive. Just because you have a persona doesn't mean it's not authentic. I can have a persona that's authentic, but it's magnified. It's an amplified example or version of my authentic self.
I got it. And that leads to my point, right? So these personas are amplifications of ourselves. So if his persona is an amplification of himself, that's the person we're supposed to lead. Not lead.
On Cam Newton, the mask slip. On Cam Newton, he showed this is why I do this. He broke it down clearly on Cam Newton. He said, y'all didn't want this. I try to do this. Now when I do this, I get the attention. I get the platform. Now is it getting to him? Yes, it is getting to him. In Too Deep, Omar Epps? Yes. I think initially he had one plan to try to draw attention to things and find a way to slip out the door. And I think it got the best of him and all these 20 V1s and all these checks. Now he done got totally turned out into something totally different.
So now he's an op then.
No. Yes, now he is.
Wait.
I'm following up.
But why? But we got to take accountability. But let's take accountability at the same time.
Okay.
Let's take accountability for not being there when he was doing what we.
Okay. All right. And I'm not defending this guy, but when you say he's playing a character and he's an op, he's in Dallas risking his life. This is word for word off. I said they're trying to kill. Yes, because they know I'm speaking the truth of what they're doing to each other. Nobody's gonna be perfect in this, but when we say he's playing a character, he drives around with his life at risk because he called his ignorance out that was going on in the Dallas.
And nobody else was calling it out. Nobody else was calling it out. At the time he came out and said we're stupid, nobody else was saying that these rappers are leading us to destruction with the content.
I can just say this personally. We're talking with this guy. He knows what's at stake. So, I get it. I don't agree. I didn't agree when I interviewed him on the show what he said about the police. He wasn't against the police. I didn't agree with it.
We won't talk no stats about police killing.
And I don't agree. And I don't agree with it. I just think we throw people to the wayward because we don't want to watch. So we make it simple and say, I'm just not going to watch him, even though he might say something that you go like, God damn, that is the facts and those are true. That's why I watch everybody.
Like that, you could be biased and still speak truth. You can have a bias to pay attention to certain aspects of violence, but that doesn't mean the facts you give about the violence that you gave were false. When he's critiquing our community, he's spitting a lot of facts about our community. Now, I don't like it. It's lopsided. He won't do the same thing about the police or white people. I understand that, and I have critiques about that. But I also have critiques of us acting like what we just heard wasn't true about us, because that's what we love to do. Oh, he ain't talking about the cops, though. But what did he say about us that was true? Let's stay there for a minute. When he's talking about Little Dirk and all them, Young Dirk, talking about sliding and murdering each other, and he's telling the truth. And nobody else is out here talking about these rappers like that. Nobody wants to have that conversation. Beneficial extraction. Take the true part then. If you don't like 80% of what he said, then take the 20 and let's deal with that. Take the 20 that you understand is true. Let's deal with that.
You as a rapping professor see the hypocrisy and all that, because 90% of these rappers that are sliding and drilling are being paid by white corporations. So we can't talk about one without the other, in my opinion.
Go back to Kyle's his comment before.
Yeah, so we can provide the balance of the conversation. We can critique and deconstruct.
Let me just read a comment. But he spreads a lot of nonsense. And Kyle, and that is absolutely true. And I'll tell you why. Once again, I go back to my point. When this turns into a profit game, and you were doing 30 and 40 podcasts a month, you have to now keep the thing going because it becomes a show. It's just like these politicians have to keep it going to get their paychecks. Everything coincides to the same thing. When you are getting paid to do something, it will get compromised at some point. And when you have to do it over and over again, guess what happens? You got to feed the beast that pays your bills. So you are right. I agree with you. I've been saying that the rap culture has destroyed a community for love of money, and they participate in the white man's destruction of our community, and they wanted to pretend like we don't see it. And they did. And they did infiltrate hip-hop, just like they did jazz. But they used hip-hop in a different way.
With both sides.
And they did it in a way because they never dealt with a form of music that was so direct to the point. So they knew they had to infiltrate it, because you just said rappers could say this to a bunch of 17-year-olds. They could say this to a bunch of 18-year-olds. So a Puerto Rican could wear an African medallion and really walk around in the 80s, just like the rest of my other Puerto Rican brothers would. They knew how effective it was. They knew they had devised something that they weren't singing anymore. They were just telling you directly to your face what it is. When Latifah said, who you call it a bitch, millions of other men also said, yeah, why are we calling her a bitch? They had to infiltrate that. They had to infiltrate Chuck D. They had to infiltrate Public Enemy. So, Ashabu, you're right. But they also caught a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds and manipulated the fuck out of them and put paychecks in front of their face like they did everybody. So they were behind the scenes. And I agree with you. When I was calling out the nonsense in my community at the meetings, Craig says, I was standing alone. I said to one of the black detectives, I'm harmless. He said, we know. We already looked into your background. Okay.
That part.
That's a known tactic. That's a known tactic. That's a known.
That definitely is. Black Babe Ruth was black, but they changed that. You talking about the
baseball player?
The baseball player. They said him and his fat nose and all that. They asked him about where it came from. It's like the Lincoln thing where they called him a Abrahamus Africanus, and he had a nappy beard and all that. I mean, but that's the crazy part. They're the ones that created the one drop rule. But when they have white people with one drop that they don't want to acknowledge the drop, they just don't. They just Pete Davidson the whole situation and be like, we don't know why his lips is like yes, these people would definitely be known as black, according to a lot of other people. And people tease about that. They used to call me N-word and stuff. They like, if you look at Story Babe Ruth, they talked about Lincoln like that during the time. They said the Beethoven thing, same thing. They called him a Moor. Like, yeah, one drop was real.
I'm going to change the whole. Go ahead, Kamar.
So real quick, everybody, I need everybody to do me a favor. Mike's channel is sitting at 557 subscribers. We need to get this up at least to 1,000. So everybody like, comment, share the content, share this out. We have a diversity of a diversity of thought here. That's what we need. I know I'm disagreeing with a lot of this stuff, but we at least need to highlight the things that stand in support of our community. So please, everybody, subscribe to the channel, share the channel, make this channel more aware, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, Kamari. And
the same thing happened earlier. Jay Black had a dissenting opinion, and a lot of people in the chat were agreeing with Jay Black. Like that, but you're right. The beauty of it is there's people who feel and think differently. As long as you understand that J. Edgar Hoover said the greatest threat was black unity. So no matter what we disagree about, I understand how the enemy moves.
That's why I applauded Prince when he fought against the machine for himself and others behind him. People thought he was crazy when he changed his name, but he was crazy like a fox. Purple rain, purple rain. Absolutely. Speaking of Jay Black, I disagree with Jay Black most of the time.
You do.
That's what makes the show so good.
But unlike Jay Black, when I come back, when I find more information, I go, Jay Black was right. Jay Black was right. Jay, don't do that.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What you got?
What you about? It's a setup, Jay.
Let that man cook. Let that man cook. He cooking right now. Go ahead, Mike. He eating. Go ahead, Mike.
Jay Black has a stance where he has always said he would not name any of his children or his son a black name. He wanted to give his son a chance, because he didn't want his son to didn't want to make him a junior, because he didn't. Now I know he wanted to make him a junior. I know he wanted to make him a junior. Of course, we all want to make our sons our junior. For it's just a sense of pride. For whatever reason, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but I would get it. My dad named me Michael specifically. Did not name me Miguel. Specifically on a birth certificate, he said it's going to be Michael. Similar reasons. You're going to be Michael. But there is a clip that I saw that made me go, wow, Jay Black was on to something. Now, I knew he was on to something, but I had never seen it posted. I had never seen a witness say they gave us a rule that if we see these names that aren't white, we have to push them to the side. And the audio in the beginning, listen closely. The audio in the beginning is kind of difficult. It gets better at the end. So be patient with the audio. That's why I had to give it the whole lead up, so y'all know exactly what this woman is talking about.
I had my first day today at a new job. And basically, without going too far into it, my job is to schedule care for people that need it. A lot of this job is going through applications for people who want to give care. I learned today, if it is a name that does not sound white, we are to move it to the completed tasks. We then note your application as moved due to name standards. Now, it's my first day, so I ask, what does that mean? I'm black, I'm very light-skinned, obviously. And she says, And I said, you mean like our names? Like our names? Because I thought it was like a brand standard, like, no, it's literally our names. So I just want you to know, and everybody else to know, this 100% happens, and I have 122 screenshots of people, their names, their phone numbers, and their email addresses, and the reason why they weren't hired directly because of their name. I didn't even make it 1 hour. After I got my heart rate to stop spiking, I went and found the owner like I planned and asked her directly, super calm. She didn't deny any of it. She admitted that it's, fucked up. She apologized. I told her that I don't think this is going to be a good fit because this is not something that I would be willing to participate in. I made sure to keep it like professional and not scary, like not threatening. So I have a phone call with my guy later this afternoon. I'm gonna go ahead and let him tell me how to proceed. I know that this happens. It's just that I personally have never experienced this type of training. If they have a name that sounds like this or that's jacked up, we don't do it because we have standards. Like, guess we're going on a journey, and eventually we're gonna say who it is.
All right. So, Kamari, you raised your hand, so I guess you had something to say. That was very polite of you.
No, not polite. I mean, on this panel, I have the blackest name out of everybody, right? Technically, I've experienced everything.
What about Jamal? I don't know. Don't pull out the Glock, Jamal.
I don't know.
No, Jamal's Arabic. Aaron, I believe, is Hebrew. Michael is Hebrew as well. Kamari is straight black.
No, I don't.
I got the blackest name out there.
I think Jamal.
I was joking.
I don't know.
You see Jamal resume. Stop it.
Ain't nobody reading.
No, listen.
Ain't nobody reading the resume and saying Jamal is Arabic. Nobody is saying Jamal is Arabic. Nobody's saying that.
Y'all both in the same pile.
Yes.
Y'all in the same pile. Y'all in the same pile.
We are definitely in the same pile.
Well, I'm getting a job,
but my name specifically comes out of the African tradition. I'm named after my parents, right? I get thrown into that pile. I've gotten thrown into that pile. Part of the reason why I don't even try to get jobs anymore. I would love to get a job where I get a standardized paycheck, great benefits. It ain't happening. So I ain't even trying no more. I've given up.
What if you shorten it to Cam?
No, I hate that because the white people call me that. Phonetically, there is no Cam in my name.
It's Kamari, right?
Kamari.
It's Kamari.
Yeah, like Barry, like Obama, Barry. No, but seriously, with respect to what Brother Kamari's saying, that's why I said what I said to Brother Kyle. Like danger seen and unseen. We have no idea how much stuff is against us. We have people who are complete professionals and experts in their field. They're like, I'm not even going to try to get a job. That's why I said to Brother Kyle, it's amazing that we don't even know. They said Israel's making some biochemical warfare that's only going to attack Arab people. People are plotting our destruction at every moment since they first encountered us. How do we get rid of these people? How do we breed them out of existence? Oh, we got weaker genes. It didn't work. But when they first came, they was raping everybody thinking that they was going to be able to change the complexion like they did in Dominican Republic. They had a whole system and process, and they would paint the statue, they lie about the history, then they would literally brag about people dating white people to breed the darker parts of the, peoples. Like, it is amazing that we're here. It's not a low bar at all when you really take the totality of the situation. Valuing your home at $300,000 less because you got black pictures in it, like literally the likelihood of you getting a stiffer jail sentence and Tuskegee, syphilis, all like all these. There's a book called Medical Apartheid. Harriet Washington. She describes medical experimentation from colonial times to now. They have always been experimenting on us, using us as guinea pigs. Father of gynecology used to lease those black women and cut into them without using anesthesia. Can you imagine somebody spreading your legs and cutting into you without giving you no?
It just happened to the lady.
It still happened today. I'm saying, so when I say, But that's what I'm trying to say to Kyle. It's like, yes, it is amazing. It is amazing. Because when you say it's not amazing, when you say it's not a miracle, it's like you're negating the true gravity of the opposition to our very existence. Not just our prosperity. There's opposition to our existence that makes the numbers. And the fact that other people are having babies at a lower rate than us, the fact that women in Africa are still having 6 and 8 and 9 babies, you know how hard it is to get your mind in the right space to even make love and carry a child to term without losing it, and you ain't even got running water? You know what kind of person you got to be internally? You know what kind of hope you got to have, what kind of words you got to speak, right? It's amazing.
I got to interrupt because we have to get to the title. The title.
No, you got it.
we got, and that's my bad, y'all. This is what it got me. This is what got me to the title of the show. I guess that's what TV shows, normal shows do. They wait till the end, they grab you, and they make you watch the whole thing. But that wasn't my intention.
Yeah, good teaser.
It was done by. This is what a gentleman had to say. Two men are talking to each other, and he went off course, and the gentleman said, "Go ahead, take it left."
And this is not to take the conversation left, but take it left, brother. We're dealing with a generation of women who are not ready for the men who they told to go heal. Right? You told me to go heal. You told me to go get therapy, and now I'm back, and you're not ready to be accountable. That's a problem. You told me to heal. You said, Negro, you need therapy. You need to go get a mentor. You need to be around some brothers. I did all of that, and now you're not able to hold yourself accountable. Now we have a problem because now I've got to drag you when you once dragged me.
Where do we go from here, Dave?
And that is my question.
What? I'm lost. I'm lost by that, but okay.
Why are you lost by it?
Because if you wasn't healed and truly healed, you wouldn't be looking to drag nobody.
No, I think. Wow. Once again,
I'm sorry.
This is the thing. After that whole thing, all you got from it was now I have to drag you, which was I could have played the whole thing, which is in turn what he's saying is drag you to get help for yourself.
Oh, okay. All right.
My only question was, are we talking about a married couple?
Right.
Because if we're not talking about a married couple, then I think me and Kamari might have a lot more in common on this topic. Because if you're talking about a married couple, different situation, right? That's why even Mike was talking, Mike and Jay were talking about lose weight together, do this together, right? Grow together, right? The importance of growing together if you're in a relationship. But I know that growth oftentimes creates distance. So if I go and I heal, the last thing I'm doing is coming back to the places where I was sick. Definitely not to find a relationship. So if we're not already married, then I'm not even dealing with you after I grow. If after I heal, I'm going to a healed space where there are people who've been waiting for me.
But if this person led you down that road, led you down the road of healing, which was a great thing, she saved you. And then you come back. You've been with her, you come back, and you're healed, and this person is in the same space that they are. What do you do when now you have learned there has to be accountability and you love this person? What do you do in that situation? Because now you're
you're in a relationship that's different.
You showed me something maybe you shouldn't have showed me.
The crack addict can't seek
time to get divorced, you gotta
accountability
get
from the crack dealer. The crack addict cannot seek accountability from the crack dealer. You have to separate. You have to go on your own island, on your own journey.
That's a great analogy, but we're not talking about that's great, but we're not talking. We're talking about somebody who loved you, who said get help.
Okay, well,
and you got
it's a bad analogy. It's a bad analogy.
So I took it as a generalization of black women, and I will admit I was triggered by this because I see all these brothers dogging sisters, and it's like y'all only talk about y'all experiences. Y'all never talk about it in totality. So maybe I'm wrong. I will say that.
But I think
one thing I will. Go
ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
No, you should reiterate the question first. That's more important. You're saying the question was. I think what you're saying, like said, you're gonna bring us back to the topic.
Can a healed man go back to the same woman if that woman is still if he now realizes, if he now is saying, wait a second, I've opened my eyes. I've seen where I was wrong. I see what I needed to work on. But I've also seen that there were problems on your side too.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to the thing where Jay says, When Jay and love Stacey, co-parenter. When Stacey said, I have to go back humble. No, I don't. I admit it. I made amends. I told you. I admitted to everything. Everything, all my wrongdoings.
I got you.
But if
you
now
passed that phase of it, you did.
Now, if you're in the same place and I'm going now, when are you going to be accountable for your shit? Because that's what I learned. In order for us to move forward, you got to be accountable too. So that's why I put the question: can a healed man go back to the same woman? She needs to go on her.
Well, he can definitely go back, but there's work to do. Yeah, me and Nikki saying the same thing. He can go back, but there's, like Tamara said it too. We got that work to do. But one thing I was going to say, I've been guilty of this as well, because even conversations we had today, we're talking about these vocal, visible people. And a lot of times it's difficult to have a realistic perception, because in today's society, there's this overemphasis on those that are loud and visible. There's so much reality TV, there's so much TikTok, that we start to think like a white person who doesn't deal with black people. Their perception of who black people are is so distorted because they only seen like 4 movies and they've heard about stereotypes, right? But in today's society, we engage with social media and the online presence of our own people sometimes more than we interact with our own people. There's some of us who don't belong to organizations. We're not going to churches. We're not really dealing with a lot of people. Some people just go to work, deal with the same 4 people. Some of them might not even be black. We come home, we get online for 4 hours, and we're getting more of our perception of what's going on in Black America, because we don't call our family members every day or sometimes even every week. And it's an interesting shift that's taking place where it's like all of us now are looking at the world through a far more distorted lens of who we actually are than when we didn't have cell phones, right? We played all day and everything like that. So what I will say about women, this whole notion of a modern women, we're seeing so many of these throw drinks on each other, loud women, want to be Republican, MAGA, black. Like there's so much of that push in our face that I have to admit, we lose sight of just how many women, just like in the comments every day, are sitting here like, no, I'm not like that, never was like that. No, a bunch of people not like that. Because those women aren't sitting on social media trying to get fans and roses all day.
Right.
And if we're on social media most of our day, we never meet or see or engage these women and don't even know that most women are not these women, because we're seeing the worst of our women pushed in our face, and that's what sells, and that's what white people want to see. Like, I realized that, so I have to really be conscious, like, this is not reality. Right. It's unfortunate, it's hypocritical, there's no accountability, but the vast majority of our women are nothing like this. The vast majority are not on OnlyFans. The vast majority are not trying to get everybody's money. Correct. The vast majority are not sitting on TikTok. But it's hard, but it's hard for me sometimes because I'm always looking online for information. And it's like, no, you gotta look out in the world and get, real experiences.
Let me read these comments. An ex-fiance reached out to me years later. He had healed himself, but I healed myself too. Oh, that tit for tat. I like that. I'm just playing. I told him I will always love him, but I'm not the same person. I said, I hope and pray that he finds his peace because I found mine. No, we do not have contact anymore, but he moved on and married like I did. Very nice. And what was Asha? Put Asha's joint up there. Put Asha. If she was gracious and patient enough with him to address his issues, now he comes back. Why be critical of her now that you're healed? All the same grace and patience. Well, okay. I agree. I agree.
Good point. She waited for you. She waited for him.
But you got to move on. You got to do it.
So, but to answer your question, can a healed man go back to the same woman? I would say 95% of the time, no. Because you didn't grow at the same pace, nor did you try to grow at the same pace, nor are you at the same place.
Yeah, if he's going back, he's not with her.
Right.
If he's still with her, then that's different. That's what I said. If he's with her, it's different. But if he's going back to her, then I would agree. No, don't go back. Don't go backwards at all. You growing up. You growth. You move on.
Or maybe he
should have met somebody on your healing journey.
Maybe he caught up. But
paths crossed again by chance.
Isn't that the thing about changing within a relationship? Like you make that. Isn't that the thing about changing within a relationship? You're trying to change. You're trying to better yourself because you love this person, and you're doing it for yourself, which you have to do, because if you don't do it for yourself, it's not going to maintain. I'm going to tell y'all right now. But if you're doing it for the relationship and it works, I wouldn't just bounce out. I feel better now. Don't need you.
Well, then he wouldn't have went back. They would have stayed together, right? I mean, and maybe I'm being too literal, but I thought they broke up.
Yeah, if you was with me along the whole journey, why I got to go back? If you was with me along the whole journey, I'm not going back.
Sorry, Mike. I know I get Mike, but did y'all see Mike pause and breathe? He wanted to go off on me. He like this.
You're the one who heard a whole statement and got triggered at the end. Like you were like, oh, he said he's gonna drag her.
I listened to nuance. I'm sorry. I had to
That's not but that's not nuance. That's the opposite of nuance. That's the
actually
opposite
it's
of
not.
No, it is. You
and
ignored the entire
No.
thing. The nuance is getting all the effects of it. The nuance is catching everybody's feelings. The nuance is actually looking at the blueprint and looking at every little thing, not focusing on one thing and throwing away the rest of the blueprint. That's not nuance.
What I will submit to is I didn't hear the whole clip. And so maybe there was more context there.
The clip you heard, you didn't find nuance and you found what triggered you. You didn't find nuance, you found the trigger.
I wasn't triggered, but how you going to drag somebody
You were
with you
triggered,
feel?
Trump. You said you were triggered.
Damn, come on, you gonna let him get that off?
Nah, it's cool. Mike's the host. He gets grace.
But
He gets grace.
that's why I said to Mike, I say he should go first to read. Go ahead.
He went to a prominently white high school, and I guarantee you that they are way more ratchet than we could ever be. Some of us think the white ice is colder, but I know that is not true. But who went to a white high school? I guess you know the guy. I guess he maybe saw the whole clip.
Yeah, Anthony. I said I. It said I went. No, the comment said I went to.
Oh, I went. Oh, I'm sorry, Anthony. My bad. My bad.
I
Reading is not my strong point, Anthony. I apologize.
He was in the thick of
And
him and
that
Kamari.
that is
going back and
real.
forth.
No, but that is real. I do notice that when I went to school with white people, a lot of the myths that people who went to school with all black people thought, it wasn't true. And I feel the same way because I was like, yo, y'all have no idea. And honestly, I say this all the time. If you watch Everybody Hates Chris or that series Us, people be like, oh, you went to a suburban school. You don't know what it's like in the hood. I tell people I argue with anybody. I would have rather been in the hood. I would have rather been with my people than to be with them. And if you know any stories like that, Chris Rock talking about getting chased home every day. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I almost died because they used to break our window. A brick missed my head as a baby by inches. My mom said they used to break our window every night. My family had to go get guns to stop them from breaking our pane glass window. One day she was sitting with me, had just had me home for a few weeks. The brick came through, and that's when they started ordering guns. Like it ain't sweet. Don't act like just because there's fences and trees that life is easier.
Ordering
Because people
guns,
think
they
that.
start
People in
ordering
the
guns.
hood.
You said they start ordering guns?
No, family members. Well, allegedly.
Is it
there's some connections. There's some family connections to the Black Liberation Army. I'll leave it at that. But when I moved to other neighborhoods, when I moved to other neighborhoods, they would be like, "Oh, you got it good," and I'm like, "No, nothing good about it, bro. They was trying to kill us. Like just because you was on food stamps, don't mean your life was harder." And I always try to get that through the black people's heads. Like, no, bro. Some of the hardest lives, even in the '60s, was the first black family on the block. Do the history, do the knowledge. Look who got killed and lynched. The business owners, the ones who try to move into neighborhoods. They didn't care about you staying in your place. They cared about the ones who didn't stay in their place. Those are the ones who really caught hell. The first black family on a white block, those are the ones they burn cross and try. It's like I always get mad at my people because like y'all gotta do the knowledge. Because they be like, oh, I'm from North Philly, and I'm like, that's good. There's challenges in North Philly. But guess what? If you're the only black person in your whole damn grade, there's challenges there too. The type of challenges that could destroy your sense of self and make you hate yourself and your people and never date anybody black. Because I've seen that even within my own family.
Now, when I say this statement, I'm not saying it to disagree with Dr. Aaron Smith. So get that right. I don't want this misconstrued. This is just another experience.
No, you're from suburbs too.
No, because I
went to all white school. Mike, what are you talking about?
No. I went my first year in a black school. And well, my whole education until I came to Willingboro, I went to a Catholic school. When I was in New York, it was all of us. I went to school in the Bronx. When I came here, I went to JFK, and that I always say I went from Lean on Me to 90210. If you know those show reference, then you know the dramatic change. That's what happened. Freshman year in high school, I've said this story before. My best friend was killed. I had to be a witness. I had to point him out. And the rest of the year, it was survival. It was taking a knife to school in JFK High School. That's what it was. My dad handed me a knife to go to school. So then we moved. I was just a witness. I had to snitch. Then we moved from that school. Then I went to an all-white school. And I had to deal with the situation of never being around that many white people in my life at one time. I don't know which one was better. I'm gonna have to say the second one, simply because I didn't have to be a witness and I didn't have to watch my best friend die. But there was a dramatic change. And they in this school, I was challenged when somebody put my written work in a contest that I didn't even put my written work in. An artist put it in because I wrote something next to the art that he had drawn, and it made like top 3 in the written word thing. I had to be challenged. I was asked by a teacher directly in the office, who'd you take that from?
I know your nigga ass Puerto Rican ain't doing it. That ain't your work. You ain't talented.
And sadly, there's stories about like that all across the board.
And I said to the big fat art teacher, I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't even want to be in your dumb contest. I didn't even put it in. I'm not even the one who placed it. I just wrote it. It was Dizzy Gillespie playing. He played the trumpet. Dizzy or the. It was
despite what Nice and Smooth tried to teach, he didn't play the sax. He didn't play the sax. He played the trumpet. Yes, Mike. Thank you for correcting that for hip hop. Yes.
Greg Nice. Greg Nice.
I still have the book. It's in my closet. And he showed me the picture. And when he showed me the picture in class, I wrote something next to the picture. I wrote, which turned out to be a poem. Didn't even know. I was just writing shit next to the picture. It got submitted. It got top 3. It got announced on my and that. So that was what I faced. I faced when layup lines. When our basketball team went to layup lines in Cherokee, they yelled out nigga when 3 of the players were only black when they were in the layup line, which turned into a brawl. So that's where I wound up going. That's where I wound up seeing black girls getting hidden by white guys that were messing with them, but they would hide them on the low. And then white girls would mess with black dudes, and the ones that did were called a whore, and they kept them on the low. So this one girl, I feel to this day, I hope she survived what she got from that school for dealing with black guys. I hope she survived. I hope she's okay, because what she caught from that school was something that I didn't even know was historically wrong. Was historically wrong. Those are my views on.
It depends on the white school. No, it depends on the white school and the black school that you went to. You're right. If you're going to the type of black school where people are getting shot down, then yes, 9 times out of 10, the white school is going to be an improvement. If you're going to a white school where when you go home, they're trying to kill you and you got to get guns, and you're literally the best reader in the class, guess what happened after that? I got put in special education. And people look at me today and they be like, for real? I spent 3 years, even up until the point I was almost in high school, in a class with like 5 other people and self-contained, trying to tell people like Halle Berry in that Crazy movie, like, how'd I get in here? Once they put you in the crazy house, it's hard to tell people you're not crazy. So once you're in that system and in that program, they'll be like, oh, we'll give you a test and see, but it'll be next year. I'm like, I don't belong in here. Then it's like, oh, you seem a little upset and angry though. See, maybe you do need to be here for emotional. It's like, I'm angry because I don't belong here. So I went through that cycle of resource room, special education from like 1st grade to almost 9th grade. So for me, I'm like, this ain't an improvement. But no, I feel you, Mike. If people getting shot down, then yes, I would be out there too.
Here's another experience. Anthony has a different experience also. Also, the predominantly white high school I went to was one of the best schools academically, but 2/3, I guess, of the teachers were black and experienced.
Hey,
that's amazing.
That's what we do. You teaching them.
Wow, that's rarity.
Amazing. I don't know about black history, but you teaching them.
I was always the only black in my class from the 5th grade on, never given credit for my intellect. Lenape, Morristown were notorious for racism. Lenape is the school I went to, and then sadly now. Yep. And I told my daughter,
it's important to have the nuance, because people, you know what happens, Mike? People who are from these neighborhoods move out and then they get shocked. People like, I moved out the hood and I thought that you shouldn't have thought that. Nothing in our history showed you that once you get out the hood, your life was going to be any easier when it comes to dealing with racism. And a lot of people face a serious culture shock because they can't understand how they have this job and this money and this nice house, but they're still getting pulled over because it had nothing to do with your geography. It was
Well, no,
anti-blackness, no matter where
part of
you
the
are.
problem is most people don't understand what racism truly is. They think it's physical.
Yeah, seriously.
And while it can be physical, but it can be a lot of other things. It's environmental. It's psychological. It's financial. It's so many other things. Black people are at war, and black and brown people are at war at all times, at all fronts.
The sister I'm studying now, Mike, let me tell you the reason why I'm doing my dissertation. The reason I'm doing dissertation, we had a librarian at our school who had lupus, who didn't get proper health care. And in the Daily Beast, they said that she would have been alive, but the school didn't have good health care. Basically, to paraphrase, they just grinded her up. I don't know if you remember, there was an acting president named Joanne Epps, a black woman, who was on stage at a commemoration for Charles Blossom, who collapsed on stage and died. Right? Cushy job, acting president. Then there was a woman at Lincoln, Missouri, lastly. Not Lincoln in PA. There's another Lincoln College that's in Missouri. This woman was the vice president, a member of AKA, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She had this white supervisor who was so aggressive, bullying her with microaggressions, that she would write about her depression. She killed herself. So I need people to understand. I'm sure she had a nice house. She had a great salary. I'm sure she had severance pay. That's not like Kamari said, it's so much more layered and nuanced than people think, that when you get a job and you relocate, you're going to escape racism. That's what's crashing a lot of people's, their illusion of how racism operates. That's why I'm doing the studies I'm doing now, because I see black women in every stage of academia totally tortured and exhausted to the point they don't want to live. It's so much deeper than whether you was on food stamps. And when I meet people that talk, you don't know the struggle. Bro, people are struggling everywhere, on every front.
And I will tell you the confusing part. We were the only, I always call myself Fresh Prince, but we were the opposite. We went back to the Bronx every weekend. Every weekend, we stayed the weekend in the Bronx. We moved out to Willenboro with the lawn and everything. We went back every weekend. Now, this is in the 80s. So we would go back every weekend at the height of the AIDS and crack epidemic. We loved our family, and that's why. But we would go back every weekend and that's where I saw firsthand what was going on with AIDS and the crack epidemic. I just say that I don't know. I guess it was because we loved our family and we really missed New York, but it was a really confusing time. So it has been a great show. Tomorrow we will have a lot of mindless stuff because this has been a lot.
Got to balance it out.
Real quick,
we're heavy
Mike.
today.
Go ahead, come on.
Mike, did y'all do y'all job? Jay,
I did mine.
Tuesday, I do mine again. My
Cash
check goes
App.
in Tuesday, so it goes in Tuesday.
I donated to. I did it this morning, knowing that you was coming on.
You invested in yourself.
I invested in myself. Okay. I invested in myself.
Because we get caught up in
like
so
the
much
sound of that.
trashiness. We get caught up in so much trashiness. We forget
Lisa.
about investing in ourselves.
Just the one financial thing. Earlier in the week, Dr. Smith said black folks are using credit cards to buy food at the supermarket, and I was thinking,
Not just black folks. Not just black folks.
But what
Not
I
just
said, the
black folks, a lot
financial
of
piece is, couldn't that be a strategy? Because you get the points and then you're supposed to pay it off. Shouldn't you do that?
So
it can be a strategy, but that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it because they suffer.
They're not doing it. They don't have a plan. They don't have a plan.
They ain't doing it for frequent flyer mileage. No, they out here with 19%.
All right, go ahead, Kamar. Go ahead.
So a lot of times that's out of survival, right? So yes, you can use credit cards, to your point, to get the frequent flyer miles and the reward points and all of that. However, that strategy only works if you're able to pay the balance off monthly. Most people are keeping the balances and carrying the balances and paying the minimums. And so I think there's like $1.4 trillion in credit card debt nationwide right now. That's crazy. It's unheard of. So everybody says they're flossing on the gram, but in actuality, there's a lot of people that are broke, but they don't want to admit it.
I'm not broke, but I gotta watch my dollars. It's like I'm watching.
That was remember Oprah had the debt diet. Remember Oprah had the debt diet, and she started talking about people's debt, and then the more she started surveying the room, like Kamari's saying, more people started saying, yeah. So a lot of people were functioning with a lot of debt. A lot of people were in debt, but they were still able to look like they weren't. So the levels of what was actually happening got revealed. And like you said, a lot of people are making it. A lot of people are comfortable. But if you look at debt to income and wealth, the vast majority of the audience was underwater. They owed a lot more than they had.
they only look good on the surface, but when you pull back the layers and kick the tires, people in trouble. They in
Oh,
trouble.
who you telling? I'm people. I am people.
Yeah.
Don't kick my tires. Them joints might pop.
You're one tragic. You're one medical emergency. One tragedy at the house or something.
One child support hearing.
One
bad child support hearing away.
One paycheck away from homelessness. Both people are one paycheck away from homelessness.
And
I saw what he said. Most people don't have $1,000 saved. I saw that one. I was like, oh, that was a rough one.
I mean, there's multiple studies.
And a lot of people have no savings, zero savings.
Some people say you can't deal with a $400 emergency. So yeah, be careful with the credit cards.
That's rough.
It's just like any other tool, right? All this stuff's a tool, but with a tool you can create works wonder. With a tool you can create destruction, and a lot of people do not have income a lot of times to really play that game you're talking about, Jay.
So to start that $1,000, if they don't have $1,000 in their savings account right now, what can someone do right now to try to build to that? Like, what's the slow play to get to that $1,000 in their savings?
What I would say,
got no bank accounts.
Go ahead, Kamar.
Unbanked is a problem, but one, you need to know what you're spending, what's going out, what's going in. That's that B word a lot of people don't like. I'm not talking about bitch, y'all.
Budget. I got you.
Correct. Right. Listen, track, look and see what you're spending your money on.
Okay.
And then cut out what you don't need. So you got to be honest, because a lot of people say, well, I deserve those fancy shoes.
I deserve that Starbucks. Some people love their lattes.
Fancy vacation. Sometimes you got to sacrifice.
I need my BET Plus. Like, so you saying they got to figure out something?
You do not need your BET Plus. Stop.
He need that righteousness in his life.
No, I'm just saying though, if somebody they should just look at everything they got going on. If they could take that one $13 subscription you saying per month, just stop that for a while and then start that save that each month. Because you look at it,
That's a start.
That's a start.
How about the amazing thing? How about you cut all your subscriptions except one?
People don't want to for your sanity and your peace of mind. You do need entertainment.
That does not create see, this is the thing. That does not create peace of mind. That actually makes it worse. Watching all this makes it worse.
No, that isn't an escape. When I watch Big Brother, I watch these. That's an escape. I really enjoy. I enjoy watching Big Brother Survivor.
So just keep free, right? Then keep that one. And Big Brother's free.
But the cable isn't. You gotta have cable.
Okay, so you get you.
Why you gotta have cable?
Paying for something.
You don't have to have cable.
No, it's not free.
I know some websites offline. I can tell some people, you might be able to watch the movies while they're still in the theater. I'm just saying.
We cannot promote theft here, sir.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, so I heard that some people. I heard that some people that have an opportunity, VPNs and all that.
Get what I'm saying.
Let me tell you about this escape shit. It's bullshit because I'm gonna point myself out. If I just stopped doing this, I would have $100 a month. If I just stop doing this. But I'll say, you know what I'll say? Well, it's my last vice. It's my last vice I got. I stopped the drinking. This is it. It's all bullshit. At the end of the day, you can budget.
Laurel Acres, Mike. Mike got to escape free. Go take a walk.
I go to Laurel Acres. That's my escape. I go walk in the park.
But you know what I'm talking about. Something that we enjoy. You'll enjoy certain things. I'm just saying I don't know necessarily people will enjoy walking in the park versus like their guilty pleasure watching whatever on their favorite network. I'm just being realistic.
But the realism is that once
Mike is not going to stop vaping. He knows he can save all that money.
That is the job. You didn't think I was going to stop drinking. What are you talking about? The whole goal, I stopped smoking Black and Mild.
Possible.
I stopped smoking Black and Milds. I never smoked another Black and Mild again. I smoked a pack of Black and Milds a day, and I stopped doing that. This whole thing, because when you say this is my guilty pleasure, but then you say, but I can also get this. Yeah, I like this too. I deserve this. Okay,
Mike, I'm keeping my streaming services.
Go do you. I'm not telling you not to. But don't say you don't know.
You're gonna stop eating out.
Cool.
So that some people love the restaurants. They got their routine once a month. We hit in the yard house or wherever.
A lot of people eat their money. They eat their money.
And it to me, it's not an escape. It's a program. You just do it so much that it's part of what you do, and you've never tried to replace it with something else. But
yes. Yes, Asha.
Asha, that's my family right there too, Kamar. Yeah, and she got a business. Okay. She
Yeah,
been doing that.
I got insight into your backstory. I didn't even know.
Oh, well, easy.
I got some dirt.
All right, y'all. Tomorrow.
All right.
Tomorrow,
All
bro.
right, we're
Appreciate you,
out
bro.
of here.
Tomorrow,
Everybody, great show today. Like and subscribe. Like I told you, tomorrow's gonna be a mindless Friday. We're just gonna have a good time. There was a lot. Thank you for each and every one of y'all in these boxes who gave their opinion. Each and every one of y'all with the comments. It's much appreciated that y'all ride out. Please like and subscribe. Love me for who I am, not who you want me to be. I can never be that. Understand there's only one thing in life that's guaranteed. It will end. So enjoy every minute, every second. You fight for everything in your life. Fight for your happiness. Never let anyone, anything, or any circumstance take it from you. From Michael Sean, Jay Black, Fearless, Kamari, Amani, who must be under the weather, C. Chung, Sexy Mo, Kamari, you messy. I did not talk about
I'm like, what she say? She talking. Come on, Asha, what we doing? Whose side are you on? Go.
Asha, you got a perfect record, Asha. Don't get no blemishes on it, Asha.
Listen, y'all don't realize I listen very well.
Don't bring that 5 star to a 4.5. Don't do it. We gone.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends, where the truth hurts, but also makes